Airbnb announced a program where they're partnering with a number of major landlords and management companies to list designated apartment buildings where tenants can sublease their apartments as short-term rentals. What they saw in the markets where they tested this, renters were seeing 8 or 9 rental nights a month, and they were gaining about, roughly $900 in supplemental income. If you look at the city of San Diego and the number of apartments and a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment in San Diego can range between $1,500 and $2,500 on average. And so a $900 can take that, can really help subsidize that rent to the tune in some cases of 30-40%. This is going to be an interesting thing to watch. The city is going to be very concerned about what's going to happen in the apartment rental market and subleases there. The labor market from a worker standpoint is excellent. The jobs report today said 263,000 jobs were created in the U.S. economy this past month in November, keeping the unemployment rate at 3.7%. And this is well above the expectations. Economists and analysts were looking at a decline to about 200,000 jobs because of all the actions the Fed has taken to increase their interest rates, which is intended to kind of slow down the job market and bring inflation under control. And on top of that, the wages were up 5.1%. That kind of ticked up from last month as we were seeing wage growth kind of slow down over the last few months. It kind of ticked back up this month. That, certainly helps workers with inflation. As inflation starts to dip, this 5% increase starts to really eat into that inflation. So the net pain for consumers is a little bit more reduced. When the Fed is looking at this, what are they going to do with the rate hikes on December the 14th? It still seems on track that the Fed is only going to increase their rate by 0.5 point instead of 3/4 of a point that we've seen over the last 4 periods. Now, the reason is because inflation has come down fairly quickly. Inflation was 9.1% in June. It is now 7.7%. So the Fed, even though may not be as satisfied with what's happening in the job market and the wages, is still seeing inflation kind of peak and start to decline. They're slowing down the rate of increases, but they're not going to rest until inflation is curbed and getting down to their target of roughly 2%.